We're live and Instagram too.
All right. Hello, guys. Welcome to another day at the Cookie Countess. I'm here with Wilmalyn. We call her Will.
Hi. Hi, everybody.
All right. I'm going to put this down because it just feels awkward. But, all right. So Wilmalyn has worked here for almost 2 years now, right?
This summer is 2 years.
This summer is 2 years. Okay. And she's one of our in-house bakers. So there's me, Sarah, and Will. So you may have noticed from the blog poster by Will, she is actually professionally trained, right?
Yes.
Tell me about that.
I'm a pastry chef, graduated and everything.
She's the only one actually in-house that has professional education on baking, which is amazing. You're originally from Puerto Rico.
Yes, I'm from Puerto Rico. I studied there, baking and pastry arts.
So Will also is redoing some of our popular videos with a Spanish voiceover. So we'll have those available soon. And so we're excited about that. And she is our in-house kind of recipe tester. I stick to the cookies, but she is very skilled at what kind of other things do you make?
Everything, cakes, macarons, meringues, so everything pastry related.
So most of that stuff that you see on our recipes and tutorials section, we've been adding a lot to it. So if you haven't been by lately to look at our blog, take a look. We've added a ton. And most of those things that fall outside of the cookie zone are done by Will. And she's still doing cookies too, but she also has the knowledge to, like, we're doing homemade fondant. We have videos coming on how to make macarons, how to make meringues, all good stuff.
Everything.
So if there's something you want her to make and show you how to make it, you can drop it in the comments. So, but today you're talking about
PYO cookies.
PYO cookies.
We're going to do some stenciling, and I'm going to show you how to get the right consistency, especially with this black icing that we're going to be using.
All right, so I'm going to leave it to Will, and I'm going to go man one of the cameras. Emily's holding two. She's doing a great job at it, by the way. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. So let's start. This is our stenciling icing. It's an instant mix, so you just have to add water to get it to the right consistency. And the best part of it is that it's already black. We know that when we're doing royal icing and we try to tint it black, we need to add like a lot of coloring, let it sit to develop, all of this stuff. So you don't have to do that with this. You just get a little bit of water and mix it in and get it to the right consistency, which you're gonna learn how to do right here, right now. Let's start. And the good thing about this is that you can do as little or as much as you want. It also has some instructions right here if you want to do like the whole pack or like a quarter of the amount of this. It's all in here. Just gonna do just a little bit. We're gonna add droplets of water. And we're gonna start mixing. It's very important not to add a lot of water at once because then it would be too thin, and we don't want that when we're doing stenciling. We want a consistency that resembles maybe like toothpaste. So we're gonna mix it.
Janet says the stencil black icing is awesome. Thank you, Janet.
Yes, it is.
We think so too.
And start adding water little by little.
Oh, Sandra Reyes is watching from Puerto Rico.
Woo.
Yes, I have a few Puerto Rico shout outs as well.
Maybe some of my students.
Maybe. She used to teach in Puerto Rico. What was the name of the school?
I used to teach at the Pontificia Universidad Católica of Puerto Rico, Pontifical Catholic University in Puerto Rico, at the Maya West campus. We had a school of a lot. It was pastry arts, hotel management. It had a lot of things.
Nice.
Somebody said that the red is awesome too, which is a good point that we also have this in red and
instant mix
white.
in red, white, and black. And the white one, you can tint it different colors.
Somebody said, I'm going to butcher this, but they went to, I think what you just said, UPR, Maya Guez.
Oh, that's the UPR.
Yeah. I'm sorry.
You're so close, Emily.
Yeah, not really.
Yeah, it's so
They're very excited.
So you're really taking your time getting it to the right,
Yeah, I don't want
because you don't want to over add water.
Exactly.
Yeah,
I don't want
so
to
we're-
add too much water to make it too thin so that I cannot work with it. Because then it will seep through the stencil and it will like bleed out.
Mm-hmm.
We're getting there.
All right. It is amazing how black it is and that it doesn't need to sit and develop. Mimi wants to know if you wanted more of a gray tone, or are you able to add white to the mix and less water? That's a good question. So I think
make it gray?
to make gray.
Since this is too black, I don't think adding white will change it that much unless it's a lot. Maybe mixing the white.
I think if you start with the white instant mix and maybe add a little bit of the black
this
instant.
one,
Yeah. We haven't actually tried that, but if you try it, Mimi, let us know, because I'm sure it would work. You just would have to play with the ratios to get to what you want.
I think we just became educators. Somebody said her students and her are watching this while they're eating their snacks.
Oh, I love that.
They're loving the cookie talk.
I want you guys to look at the consistency.
yes.
It's stiff, but still has like a little like softness to it.
Mm-hmm.
And this is the consistency that you want to have when you're stenciling. And look at how little I just made. And again, you can make a small amount of it, or you can make the whole thing.
Karen wants to know if you can use an airbrush to make PYO cookies.
I would not recommend that, because if you paint with it, it will smear the black and will blend in with the colors, so it won't look pretty.
Right, after the kids paint it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because of the water.
So after we have it like this, we can use it straight from the bowl to do the stenciling, or we can put it in a bag and use it like this. I'm going to show you both ways. So let's prepare our area. We're going to need this thing right here. This is the stencil genie. This is where you're going to place your stencil. It has 4 magnets that will keep your stencil from moving, and this is super easy to do. We're gonna just grab one cookie and place it, and with the spatula I'm gonna take the icing and I'm gonna spread it, but I'm not gonna push it in. I'm just gonna like briefly touch it on top of the design very softly. And after I have like enough amount of it that covers the whole thing, I'm gonna come in with the scraper. I'm gonna scrape it off.
Somebody asked if this instant black will smear when they paint, and it will not.
Not really, it won't.
This is perfect.
Yeah, I
for-
have that question over here too. So the icing, if the kids are really aggressive with the paint, with the water when they're painting, a little bit might smear, but you're not left with a whole lot of icing after the fact, so it's not too bad. All right, sorry. So tell them what you just did. I was
I
interrupting.
scrape it off, and I really like to take off most of it so that I can see the design. And then we just lift it, and here we have it.
Perfect. Love that.
This dries really quickly, especially because we have a very stiff consistency. So you can be able to pack it after a couple of minutes, maybe 15 minutes. Let's do another one, but this time we're gonna do it with the piping bag. I'm just gonna cut a small piece of the bag. Again, let's put a cookie. And I'm just gonna put a small amount of the icing at the top of the design. And I'm gonna scrape it down. Take off the excess.
Do you have a preference on whether or not you use the icing from the bag or from a bowl?
I like the bag best because I use less amount of the icing and because it's like a cleaner way of putting it in. We just lift it and that's it.
Anissa asked, I recently tried the PYO and a couple of the icing bled through. How do you prevent that?
If it's too thin, it will bleed through. You have to get it to the right soft but stiff consistency, resembling like the toothpaste, and that will make it have like those crisp lines that you want. I'm gonna show you how it would look if you add more water.
Okay.
Can I interrupt with one more question first? Is there a certain way that you hold the scraper so that the icing does what you want it to?
You have to hold it in a way that it won't get into the lines of the PYO. You don't want it to get stuck in a piece of the design, or you don't want to lift a piece of the design. So it has to be like at an angle that you can spread it without pulling one of those pieces.
Okay.
Trish just asked, she came in late, what mix is this? So this is the Cookie Countess instant stencil icing that she's using. It's already dyed with black. So no, we already made it thick, and now you're going
I'm thinning it down so that I can show you how it
what not to do.
Yeah.
All right, so this is, if you find that you end up having some smudged icing, this might be why.
Like this consistency is like a little stiff. It's not too thin, but do you see that it shines a lot when you like move it to the light? That means that it has too much like moisture in it. I'm gonna show you how it will look.
All right, so here's what not to do.
Let's change this.
While you're doing that, do you have any opinion on dusting with cornstarch after you do these before you bag them?
I have never needed to use the cornstarch, but
Okay.
I've read that some people do because in some places there's like a whole lot of moisture.
Gotcha.
And sometimes the bags that you're gonna put the cookies in like stick a little to the cookie, but it's not because the cookie's not dry. It's because
your environment.
It's too humid.
Yeah, we're not particularly humid in Rhode Island, but I know other places might have that issue.
I'm gonna put this here.
All right, so now you're gonna show us icing that's too thin and what might happen. You watch, it's probably gonna still come out perfect because you're good at this. It also might be if you press too hard.
Or if the stencil moves while you're doing it,
Also
can make it smeared.
Yes.
See, it's not perfect. It has this little.
You want to grab one of these? We could do a side by side. If you can tell the difference, maybe.
I don't know if you can notice, but it still looks wet. This one, when we took it off, it appeared to be dry.
Yeah.
And the eye on this one, it's like super, like closed. it really looks wet, and it has this like lines that are coming up,
Like little peaks. Yeah, it's
and
not.
if you see here, there's some bleeding on this part.
Yeah.
Also here too, and here. And it's because it had too much water.
It's not as crisp.
Someone asked if this icing can be used for outlining and flooding too.
Yes, it can be used for that too.
It's great for writing.
Edna would like to know, how thick should the cookies be in order for the magnetic frame to fit flush?
Actually, this stencil genie comes in different thickness. This is the original one, but you can get the piece that's the XTC, which is a little thicker. So even if your cookie is thicker, you could like get the other piece and use it with it. There's also these other two pieces that you can add. Help me with the names.
XTC.
No, the XTC it's the
extra
other.
large cookie.
Yeah.
And then there's the the
Wonder
frame,
bars.
The Wonder bars,
Yes.
thank you.
You can use that to add height to the stencil genie.
You can. You can also use them if your cookie has a stick baked into it. So that way the stick has a place to come out from the frame.
Okay, so say you made a bunch of this icing and you didn't use all the black. What's the best way to store it? And like how long
You're
could
gonna
you store it after?
The same way that you store royal icing. It's gonna stay in the fridge. You have to like put it maybe on a bag or on an airtight container. Make sure that you put like a layer of either cling wrap or this wrapping paper that you can stick to it so it doesn't get crusty. So you wanna save it a little for like a couple of days, not too much. You can freeze it too. You can also freeze the cookies actually after they're completely done.
All right, I'm going to ask you a question that nobody's asked yet, which I'm shocked about because, thank you, Kathy Snyder. You saved me from having to ask it myself. How many times can you use the stencil before having to clean it off?
That really, really depends on the way that you're like scraping it off and the consistency that you're using. If you're using a super wet consistency, you're gonna notice that it's gonna get darker and darker and dirtier, and then it's gonna crust. So you have to like clean it like often or scrape it often so you can use it multiple times. There's also a video. We have a video on our blog. You can get to it if you go to our webpage and go to recipes and tutorials. There's a whole video on how to do it and the amount of cookies that you could get. But it depends from person to person.
Yes. Deborah is asking, she just got here. Yes, we use the ready-to-use cookie icing to make the black icing. All right, so what else are you going to show us?
I'm going to show you some packaging ideas that you could use. We have here one of our cookie toppers. I put this cookie on a bag, and it also has the palettes. You can get this in like different colors. We have like 10 or 11 different variations of colors. And you can put them with the brush. I have one here.
And that palette's in an extra bag, right? Yeah.
Yes, it's in an extra bag because you don't want the moisture from the cookie to seep through the palette. You want to save it from it. So that way you can keep this cookie on the fridge, on the freezer, before you have to like give it away or if you're going to sell it. These are really good to sell.
And why don't you show them the inside of this one, the bag topper.
This one has the instructions on how to do the painting of the cookie.
Yeah, so a lot of our bag toppers that are paint your own bag toppers have the instructions on how to use the paint palette with it. So we save you the trouble of having to do that.
Yep.
And I just want to point out how your nails really match the paint palettes perfectly.
So if you use another of our cookie toppers, we also have this or any other packaging. We have these little cards that also have the instructions on how to do the painting on the cookies. You can add this to the packaging, you can add this to a box, or maybe like a ribbon you can add to. That's a really good way to package it.
Love it. Okay.
Any other questions?
I don't have any other questions. We did lose sound for just a second because my phone was acting strange. So if anybody lost it, just hang in there. Are you going to show us how the paint palettes paint?
Yes, let's show you that.
Okay, yeah.
Let's use one of the cookies that we already made because they're already dry. So this is our rainbow palettes. They look dark, but the colors are here. You can see that we have the red, orange, yellow, green, blue, and purple. And to use them, you just need some water. I'm gonna put some water in here.
Dee is asking, what size is the bag the paint palette is in? Off the top of my head, I think it's a 4 1/4.
On our site, it has the picture of this bag. I'll link them all in stories right after this.
Yes, we do have it listed. I can't think of it off the top of my head because we have like 10 different size plastic bags. But we do list which one works perfectly for the palette. The palettes are all the same size.
So that's 3, 7, 8.
That's what I was going to say, and then it felt wrong. But I was going to say 3, 7, 8.
I think it says 3, 7, 8.
Okay.
Did we
So-
figure out? Sorry, go ahead.
Okay. You had a question?
Did we figure out what size this cookie was? What thickness?
Oh, this one in particular is the 3/8 of an inch.
Okay, thank you.
Always a popular question.
So to use the paint palettes, you just have to wet the brush and like get to the color that you would want. And after it's like saturated on your brush, you can use it to paint on top of it. It's super entertaining for birthdays, activities during the holidays, to give away. Even adults enjoy to use them.
You are not wrong. I enjoy it also.
You can see that the icing isn't smearing, the black icing.
Oh, exactly. And just like that, you make a beautiful cookie that everyone in the family is going to enjoy. And it's like 2-in-1. Fun and a treat.
Somebody asked, kind of unrelated but related, what is the trick to get the cookie at the exact thickness? That would
We
be
have
our
the precision rolls. We have three
Yes.
sizes of precision rolls. It's 1/4 of an inch.
The
rolling pins.
Rolling.
Sorry.
Oh my god.
Sorry, in
Yeah.
stereo.
The rolling pins. We have 3 thickness of them. And you just have to like roll your cookie dough, and every part of the cookie dough is going to be that thickness.
Yes.
We have one in this room. I don't think we have one in this room.
Oh, we do. Yeah, they're
Oh, we
right.
do.
You want to grab one, Mo?
Okay, we're gonna stay right here. We're gonna look at her cookie.
Yes. I'll link a post about those as well in our stories after.
Okay. Here we go. The precision rolling pins.
This parts of the rolling pin, it's what makes the thickness of your cookie be even.
And it's really big. That's one of the best parts too. It's a huge rolling pin. You can roll out a lot of dough at once.
Yeah, the size that I've been able to do is like the whole like tray.
Mm-hmm.
You can like roll
Love
all
it.
everything. It's so cool.
Awesome.
Yeah, people
Thank
are
you
saying
for
they're
grabbing those.
a game changer.
Any other questions?
I think I'm caught up.
Someone asked, will these paints work on chocolate like cake pops?
They are not oil based, so I wouldn't use them on chocolate in particular. They could be used on fondant dough.
Okay.
I think people have, depending on what type of chocolate you're using exactly. I talked to someone earlier this week that did them on her chocolate covered Oreos, and they came out really well.
With
Yeah.
candy melts? That's awesome. I never tried that.
Yeah, so I think,
Did she use an extract to paint or water? That would
I'm not sure, but this sounds like a good blog post we could figure
Yeah.
out maybe.
Maybe
I'm
if
gonna
you
try that.
maybe if you use vodka instead of water.
Yeah, because it's not a definite no, but there are circumstances.
Melanie wants to know, how does the stencil come out so perfect? Melanie, if you rewatch this from the beginning, she shows you exactly how to do it. And we're going to repost these to Instagram and Facebook, and we'll actually repost it to our YouTube channel as well, so you guys can go back and watch.
Yes, and where can I buy the palette of colors? You can buy them on thecookiecountess.com, our website.
So cute. I like that little stencil. He's cute.
He is very cute.
Any other questions before we head off? Sue says that roller looks to be easier on the wrist than the ones you have to physically roll. Yes, it has.
It definitely is. It's super helpful.
It has spinning handles, which is great. All right. Anything else you guys want to know?
Emily?
No, I'm sorry, I was just
Emily's
responding.
Okay.
A lot of people are coming in late, and I'm saying we're going to be uploading it right as soon as this is
Yes,
done.
we're going to upload it. So thanks, Will, for doing this. This is
You're
Will's
welcome.
first live with us, and we will be back for more. Roger says, great job teaching. Trish says, thank you so much. I've learned a lot today. And I will be on, Hillary here, I will be on tomorrow talking about all things packaging. And we have a whole schedule for the rest of the week. So please join in and leave in the comments if there are other techniques you would like Will to show, since she actually has a degree in pastry making and baking. So let us know. And I think that's it. You have any more questions?